Hey everyone, happy Friday. My name is Jamie Smith. I'm our VP of People and Culture here at Darshakau. And this week I'm up in our Tallahassee office and I am with Blake Rockwood. How's it going, Blake?
It's going good.
Awesome. So Blake is our permit specialist. So I don't know if a lot of you knew that we have a permit division that is a subdivision of our trucking insurance division. And this guy is pretty much responsible for that division, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. It is a two-person job. I have Steven that helps me out with any weird and complicated cases, but
Yes.
I handle. Well, we have at least 120 contacts, but I deal with companies up to about 60 regularly.
Yeah. Well, before we dive into your position, I want to have you tell people kind of what your career has been. Like, where did you start? What did you do before you came to DSI? And you've also had kind of a career progression since you've been here at DSI too.
Yeah. So what I've done, well, first things first, I graduated from Florida State, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry too.
Everybody over
I'm sorry
there.
too. Just joking.
But what I first started after that is I got a job in finance in Tampa. I worked for a company called Forrester's Financial. They did life insurance and mutual funds. So I learned the ropes there. I got my security exams, my 6, my 26, my 63.
Those are pretty tough, aren't they?
Yeah. It's like the 220 and the 440 on steroids, I would say.
All right, so maybe your Florida State education was worth something.
I would say so.
Okay, all right.
You
all
said
right.
it, not me. But yeah, I did that for about 2 years. But I had a long distance relationship that was starting to become more of a priority than work. So I moved back to Tallahassee.
Which, by the way, that long distance relationship is turning into marriage.
Yes,
Isn't it?
In October.
In October.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We got
Congratulations.
We got a date. Wedding's going to be in the Smoky Mountains, October 12th. It's going to be great.
Is my invite in the mail?
It can be. We got a nice little magnet for your fridge. But yeah, I loved it there in Tampa, but I had to move up to Tallahassee, and within the 4 months of being back in Tallahassee, I got a call from this guy.
So we put people sometimes, I don't want to say we put people through the ringer with our interviews, but they're pretty thorough. There's phone interviews, there's face-to-face interviews, there's assessments that we have you guys do as candidates.
Yep.
Do you think that you had any benefit during our interview process to really determine if this was the right fit for you?
Yes. The short answer. The long answer is it took about almost 2 weeks, wasn't it? I mean, that's a long time to think about any job. Some people, they do job interviews like 3 a day.
Yeah.
So, yes, it did give me enough time, and it was a great fit. It took 3 different phases. I think it was 3 phases. You called me, and then I talked to Steven in person, and then I had an interview with Ray, and I've noticed that that's the same process with everybody that's been going on in our ever-growing trucking division.
Yeah.
And they love it.
Yeah.
And I love it.
No, you originally started as a receptionist / entry-level CSR for the trucking division.
Yeah, I was dabbling in a little bit of the CSR position. I couldn't get away with saying a CSR all the way.
Yeah.
But definitely receptionist. So I was dealing with, if you remember the phone reports we used to have, sometimes 290 calls a week. And that got me in the door to realizing who is in trucking as far as our clientele every day.
Yeah.
And that was a good transition to permits.
So what attracted you to the permit specialist role?
I think what attracted me to the permits role was really that, to be completely frank, it was my schedule. With receptionist, Steven could probably maybe teach me something with a CSR role, but I would get a call and I get turnaround.
Yeah.
Well, with permits, it was a little lower of a call, frequency, but I was able to make my own schedule, figure out what would work and when. Granted, it was some growing pains, but luckily Angie and Steven helped me out.
Well, and the challenging thing, at least from what I see, I would not have fun doing this, but you spend a lot of time at the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Yeah.
And let's face it, anytime you have anything to do with any sort of government entity, there's a lot of red tape to it, and it can probably get pretty frustrating.
Yeah. The biggest thing you have to do if you were in this position is to make sure you respect the people on the other side.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's going on. They have 200 other people that are just like you yelling at them if you're going to yell at them.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that, and the next time you're in a pinch, they may be able to help you.
Yeah.
That's the way you got to take it. I mean, you could probably take that in life, really.
Yeah.
But it's in the grand scheme of things, it's a good job. There's maybe, once a week a bad call where somebody's stuck on the road and it's not from my doings, but they're frustrated and they're taking it out on us. But you got to be empathetic.
You got to put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
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 So you've been with DSI for 2 years?
2 years in November.
Okay. So what do you like about it? What do you like about working just for DSI in general, but also your team here in the Tallahassee office?
Well, what I like about it in general is the flexibility of we've had schedules where, we had a hurricane. You guys were okay with us taking those days to be with our families.
Yeah, we want you all to be safe.
Yeah. We had an internet outage last Friday, actually, in the office. I was able to work from home. I was able to do everything functionally and without a hiccup. Things like that in general. The office parties are great, even though it's more towards the end of the year. It's great to see everybody.
Well, we're bringing all of you guys in trucking together later this month.
That is
trucking
true.
Summit for a day and a half, 2 days in Gainesville.
That's in the main office, right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as in the Tallahassee office, what I like is the camaraderie is great. Everybody's very relaxed. One of the first things that my boss, Steven, said is, I'm your boss because I know more, and that's about it. Everything else is, fair game.
Yeah.
And I thought that was great.
So, who's your favorite person here in the office?
My favorite person?
I'm just joking.
Okay. I was about to answer.
You can.
No, we'll never know. No, we'll never know.
All right, well, Blake is actually going to be transitioning into more of a sales-related role later this year. As soon as we identify a replacement for you in the permit specialist role, I'm sure that you're super excited about another transition for yourself and more career progression here at DSI for you.
Yeah, in some ways. I mean, there are a lot of things that in permits slow you down and can kind of, like, for example, actually, let's not get too technical.
Well, in that transition, as we're looking for someone to replace you in the permit specialist role, what do you think? What does it take to be successful in that role? What kind of skills do you have to have? What type of mentality towards the job do you need to have?
For sales?
For your permit specialist
role.
For
my permit specialist role, patience, ultimately, and the ability to, if you get a no or if you get a I have no idea, have the persistence to figure out how to get something done. For example, we weren't able to file New York permits online. I was able to figure it out. It becomes a pain to deal with mailing fuel taxes every quarter, and the state saying we don't have it, and having to backtrack the bank statements to find out if they were deposited. Well, if you do it online, and if you deal with all of the bureaucratic stuff that it takes, like power of attorneys and stuff, to actually make it accessible online, it makes your life a lot easier in the future.
Yeah.
So that's an example of patience. Patience is really it. That's
So
really it.
you got to have lots of patience. I'm sure that you have to be a pretty organized type of person.
Yes, you have to be organized because, I mean, you're dealing with so many companies. You need to know what status they're at, because if you aren't organized, you'll be ahead of yourself, and you'll realize that some people that have permits didn't pay you.
Yeah.
And that's a big no.
Yeah. And like all of our positions here at DSI, you have to have a good work ethic to you, because we need you here doing your job.
Right.
Is there anything else, any other advice that you would give someone who is exploring opportunities internally here with us at DSI?
Don't be afraid to let your supervisor know how you're doing, and what you would like to do, because there's ample opportunities in any field, as long as you tell, as long as you're transparent, you'll go far.
Awesome. Well, we're doing a lot of hiring still here at DSI. We've been growing like crazy. As Blake knows, we've hired and started 3 new employees in the past 2 weeks, so we're growing. If you're interested in exploring opportunities with us, please check out our website at darshakowinsurance.com and take a look at our career page, where you can see all of our listings, and please apply to whichever ones that you're most interested in. Those come right to me, and if you get hired, then you'll get a chance to work with this guy in some capacity and all of our other amazing employees. I wish you guys a great Friday, an awesome weekend, and I hope that you have an awesome weekend.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys. Take care. See you next time.
Bye.